I'm back. So I just finished reading Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, which came out in March 22. And it's about a happily married lesbian couple, Mary and Leah. And Leah was sent out on a deep sea mission to explore the bottom of the ocean, and she was supposed to stay there for about 3 weeks, but 3 weeks turned into 6 months. And each chapter is told by one of the two. So Miri is the one who leaves behind, who stays behind, and Leah is the one who recollects what happened under the sea. Now, what's really weird is when Leah comes back after those 6 months, she's completely changed, which you can imagine, but she's changed in a really weird way. So she starts bleeding from her gums. She holds her head under the water for hours and hours, and really weird stuff. And Miri is really longing for Leah, who was the fun one in the relationship, and but she doesn't take her to the doctor. She doesn't really do anything to help her wife. The only thing she wants to do is to go to a couples therapy, but that's not something I would do if my wife would have that problem, like bleeding from the gums and sitting in a bathtub for hours and hours and hours on end. But it's a beautiful story. It's really well written. It's interesting. You really want to read. You can't stop reading. You want to read through the end. The prose is really crisp and sharp and funny, and at times, and no, it's beautiful. And then there's the ending. And then I said, huh? That's the same exact ending as another book I've read a month before. Is it a copy? No, definitely not, because that book with the same ending is a Dutch book, and that came out in August 21. So it can't be a copy. It's just a freak, not an accident, a freak coincidence, because the ending of Our Wives Under the Sea and the ending of Hier, komen vandaan by Leonieke Baerwaldt is exactly the same. And it's not an ending like she shoots her in the back and she falls into the water or something. No. It is really specific. What is the other book about? It's a totally different story. It's more of a tale. It's more of a tale. Yeah. It's about a mother and daughter who are sort of travelers. It's about a factory worker who dreams of having a tropical fish store, and there's a couple who wants to build a house on an deserted plot of land near the sea, but it's really it used to be owned by a factory. It was a kind of a dump site. Nobody wants to have that land, and especially the boyfriend chose this part of land because nobody would claim it, and it's close by the sea and whatever, and he was going to build the house from everything he finds on the land and stuff like that. And it's also a story about a little mermaid who gets confronted with the harsh reality of modern day life, and especially with global warming and all kinds of troubles that evolve from that. So it's a completely different story, as Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, and still they have the same, well, more or less the same ending. It's so specific, it's so funny. It's how does it happen? Well, I encountered this more than once where I work in a creative environment, and I work in a advertising agency, and where I used to work there were multiple teams, and they were often briefed on the same subjects, and it happened that we independently came up with the same idea or a very similar idea because it was something in the air, and this specific ending was in the air. It's really funny. It's both are excellent books. Hier komen wij vandaan by Leonieke Baerwaldt was longlisted for the Libris Literatuurprijs, which is also an award, the Dutch award, the Dutch-Flemish award for best literature. And she was longlisted for that. I'm not sure if she's shortlisted. It doesn't really matter. I've read it in that context, and Our Wives Under the Sea, I've read it because Books and Bow and Bob the Booker were so smitten by it. I really wanted to read it, and I loved both books. And the ending, well, it's a fun coincidence, and it's something that I came across, and I was really surprised by it. And that's the advantage of being able to read in different languages, so you can see sometimes strange similarities, and it makes your world also bigger if you're able to read in different languages, because there are so many cultural differences and so many things to learn from other cultures, and language is a very good way of doing that. And if you have children, the best gift you can give to your children is to make them bilingual. At least do that. It's the best gift you can give them. So yeah, Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I read it as an ebook. Loved it. It's not translated in Dutch. And Hier komen wij vandaan van Leonieke Baerwaldt. Loved it. It's a debut novel. It's magnificent. It's really good prose. It's the sort of book that has a couple of stories, but they all intertwine, and the element that links them all together is water, and that's also the element that links them with Our Wives Under the Sea. It's brilliant. It's both brilliant, and they are completely different works, but with the same ending. Involuntary, but it happened nevertheless. Enjoy your reading, and talk to you later. Bye.